numbers of people that use it. Now, as the new MEC, obviously, I still have to submit a plan to the Premier. Has given us 100 days, and I mustn't negotiate with the Premier, present a 100-day plan here. But there's just one thing I'd like to say. And that is, Gautrain, I'm told, during peak, it transport, and you'll help me check, about 66,000.
15,000.
15,000. 66 is okay, for the total day. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I wanted to say 66,000 per day. That's what I wanted to say. So it means I'm correct. I heard you. So if you take 66,000 people per day that are using Gautrain, and you look at the number of cars that are parked, I also saw the parking area, which I really admired, and the security there. If you take that number and you minus Gautrain from the Gauteng transport capability and infrastructure, those people will be on the road. And you can look at what that will do to just pollution of the air, number one, but also the road network, and most importantly for me, congestion on the road is my number one priority. I would like to look at this issue of congestion on the road. So anyone who's a skeptic about Gautrain, I think they've got to look at the 66,000 number of travelers or users per day. If you have to look at that, you'll understand the high-level impact of Gautrain. Because Gauteng is a small province, we've got massive increase in the vehicle population. The rate at which that is increasing is quite huge. When the economy grows, people buy cars. When people find jobs, the first thing they do, like me, when I worked, to show that I work, I had to buy a car. Yeah. So when the economy is doing well, the vehicle population increases on the road. What does that do? It lowers the movement of everything on the road. We can start with goods. So freight, which basically is transportation of goods on a mass scale, that will slow down. And once that happens, it's a disincentive to investors, because definitely they'll look at what speed do their goods travel in an hour per kilometer. And if we don't get people to go to if it were not for Gautrain, I'm quite sure that this economy of Gauteng will be severely impacted by congestion. So minus those people, it's a huge impact on our economy, because now we're able to move. Otherwise, if it were not for Gautrain, I'm quite sure that during peak hour, a good car and a best car in the shop, in the market, will move at the pace of an Volkswagen. Actually, you'll go back to the pre-industrial revolution period. You'll go back to the Stone Age and use Volkswagen to travel, because it could travel faster. So this is what I wish people could look into, because moving forward, if we don't improve Gautrain, and I'm happy that there's a decision to expand Gautrain into other areas, that again is going to take people out of the road. And I will be driving a campaign to encourage people to use Gautrain and to just get used to moving out of the road, because the money to maintain roads is not there. We don't have adequate budget, money will never be enough to keep the roads in good condition. So we will need people to use trains, and we will need the business sector, manufacturing people who move goods, to use trains to transport commodities. So the role of PRASA as a passenger rail and the role of Transnet for goods is going to be one of my issues that I'll really be looking at how we can make our contribution, because we don't have that responsibility, we don't have that function. But with respect to PRASA, all I can say is we're running a good process. Can't we benchmark with Gautrain and look at some of the best practices? And of course, we will engage with Transnet as well. And the new CEO was saying to me, part of a live experience in this sector is Transnet. And I was on a lighter note saying to her, we need to engage Transnet to save our economy, because the Gauteng economy is going to be dependent on transport in the near future. At what rate can we move goods, people, and get them to where they have to go? Because almost, if you look at our road network, everything that goes everywhere passes here. And I can give you 5 national roads that links our economy to the neighboring states, to the harbors, to international markets. So if the road is congested, we will have big problems. So the economy of this province hangs on our capacity to migrate people from the road and to make rail the backbone and the core of our mode of transport. That is what, and that is why when I look at the numbers that Gautrain moves, I got delighted. So one of the things we're going to have to look at is how do we strengthen our efforts to migrate people to rail, and of course continue to engage with national government on using Gautrain as best international practice. I mean, it worries me, Jake, and I never get to understand it, and I hope, how can we run such a powerful system that the entire world is acknowledging, but we still have another part of our train system that is not almost at the same level of efficiency and operations. I mean, if you look at Gautrain's performance on punctuality and availability and reliability, just, you know, if you stand on a Gautrain station, it's coming. And it will come in time. There will be times when it's late, but it's not late to that point. The time that gets delays, it's manageable. So, and I must comment how Gautrain, I mean, the Gauteng Management Board Deputy Chair, also for the model of empowering the taxi industry. I went to Centurion, and I've seen people that were in the taxi industry are now driving Gautrain branded minibuses that take people to where they go. I had the opportunity to get into one of them. And as you know, since I was appointed MEC, I've been deeply involved with the taxi industry in Soweto and in that taxi dispute. So that inducted me into the taxi industry. We're having our taxi summit on the 24th and 25th, and I'm going to ask the Gauteng Management Board to talk about this model, because there seems to be a perception that when you expand efficient modes like Gautrain, it closes, it takes away the passengers and it reduces the market of the taxi industry. What I saw there is that is not true. I think it's based on lack of information about what this could do. When you move more people, the spin-offs and the multiplier effect to everybody is quite great. So that's what I saw. So I'm sorry that I took long. It's purely because today is a very important day for us, given what this report is saying. And I've got myself a good job, and the good job is to say to everybody, Gautrain is not just a train as in a mode of transport. Gautrain has a positive impact on the economy, and it is one of the saviors of the Gauteng economy because it relieves the road network of all the problems of congestion, including pollution. So to that extent, I hope I have shared with you what has been a very amazing experience for me. And I hope, Jack, one day we could arrange a trip. Of course, we'll have to consult with National Minister Valuda, just to also have a ride on metro. And it will be quite good for me to just see the comparison. And from a technical point of view, having been inducted into the system of Gautrain. So we will need to engage Minister and say to him, can I come into your trains and see how it works? So I had to start at home. I had to start with what we're in charge of. We are responsible for Gautrain, so it was good to start here. But I'm really looking forward to the day I could get onto a Prasa Metro rail very soon. So to that extent, I hope I've tried to share with the people here how this was an exciting day for me. I'm no longer the same. I'm just worried about what I have become with what I saw. As best practices and levels of efficiency. It is possible for things to be efficient that are run by government. That I'm convinced is possible, it's doable. Government can be efficient, and I'm convinced of it. Great.
Thank you. MEC, I know you pressed for time. We have a presentation to actually unpack the report. I wonder if you shouldn't take questions from the media, or would you want us to go through the presentation?
For me, how long will it take?
25 to 30 minutes.
25 to 30 minutes.
Okay, I think let's do this because